I'd like to welcome our next academic speaker, Dr. Lim Wern on his talk about social networks, content algorithms, and the spread of misinformation. Everyone give him a hand.
Okay. Hello everyone, good afternoon. I will be pretty fast because it's almost lunchtime, right? So just as a bit of a background, right? My PhD research was actually on user profiling online. And it was back in 2005, 2006, right? Where I actually profile people online, look at their relationship and so on. And for my interaction with companies, with banks, with the government, online privacy never existed. Right? Your telco companies have been tracking your mobile phone usage for years. Your banks, right? How much loan you're eligible, right? There's no such thing as privacy. Okay? So, first of all, you know what is social media, but how does it relate to news? Okay? So, here is user-generated content, right? It's very straightforward. You have your Facebook, you have your Twitter ads, or ads previously known as Twitter, as the meme goes, LinkedIn, TikTok, Wiki, and so on and so on. But the aspect where everyone usually miss out on is the second part of the web goal. Users are not only generating content, but they are the one who distribute and disseminate it, right? So yes, you can have all the policymaker where you look at all the companies, but the main spread of misinformation is never from the companies, right? The companies just provide the platform on WhatsApp, right? Your parents, your father, your grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, they always forward something. And if you want them to moderate it, are you willing to lose the privacy of your WhatsApp? No, right? So this is usually the main problem with it. And number sets, right? So from writers, right, you can actually see a drop in the trust about news, especially for traditional media. On the other end, you see an increase on social network, right? Most people obtain their news from Facebook, okay, fine, right? They can be public, they can be groups. On WhatsApp, right, which is totally private, right? And you can't do anything about it totally, right? And amazingly, if you look at the US, you see a drop in the trust of social news, right? Why? Because of Donald Trump, right? When Trump actually happened in 2017, it actually dropped. So to put the entire context into timeline, earlier we heard a lot about fake news. But in 2017, right, there is a proper classification, right, which is what? Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. And you will actually realize something, right? Misinformation is when the information is false, but you share it recklessly. This is what our parents have been practicing, right? There's no harm in sharing. There's no harm, right? Which is why it's reckless. Right? And you can't do anything about it, and there's another more unique one, which is your malinformation. Correct information used with malicious intent. Right? So, yes, right, the problem is not about misinformation alone, it's a combination of all three. Misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So, as an open type of question, look at your social media, identify what are the main group of misinformation, right? And look at how you can address it. So, blah, 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 a lot of regulation, blah, 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 right? Laws, fine, nothing is going to change, honestly, right? We have been seeing it for years and years. If you open Google now and search Clearview AI, one of the main articles, Clearview AI is the gate of regulators, right? There was a book about it, which was published, right? And right, it's very, very slow, and the whole legal process, there is so many loopholes which can be abused, right? So now you know what misinformation is, fake news, blah, blah, blah. Why are social networks not doing anything? Here is the most important point, as what Stefan said, right? You are the product, right? A very popular meme, right? Why are you not going to bed? Someone is wrong on the internet. Very, very common. And what happens? You drive engagement. Right? And advertisers love engagement. The longer you are on the platform arguing with someone, the more I learn about you, the more information I have about you. Right? Discussion, right? Audience. And that is how companies make money. So why should the social network interfere? Right? Because they are bringing in a lot of money. Talking about TikTok, there's a very popular term, doom scrolling. Right? Where you're on your Instagram, Shorts, TikTok, blah, blah, blah. You consume content after content. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Yes, okay? It's 3 a.m. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 8 a.m. sleep. Right? It's a very common trend. Right? And to make it worse, because of the personalization, right? What I Google, what you Google is always different. Google have changed it since 2015, I believe. Right? So you're creating a confirmation bias. You're seeing what you want to see. That's why after what happened with the Malaysia election, I didn't bother with TikTok. Because I'm very sure what I see will be very different. Right? Because personalization actually exists. So can you moderate personalization? Not really. Because everyone is seeing different things. You can't replicate it. Right? And once you know how the algorithm works, algorithms are just a recipe. Right? Fancy word for business people to throw money at us in IT. Right? But it's something very simple. Right? And once you figure it out, right? Mr. Beast, out of nowhere, is making millions, right? Because he is the one can figure out how YouTube recommendation work. It can push whatever it wants accordingly. Okay? So, moving forward, moderation, right? Yes, if it's agree with me, I will call it moderation. If it's against me, it will be censorship. There's no right way. It's a very fine line. Cam if you go, cam if you go. Right? There's literally no solution. And each time you try something, ask the 5 questions. Who should have the authority? Right? Who should be your moderators? Right? What should be moderator? Private information, public information, my WhatsApp group, my personal WhatsApp, my Snapchat. Right? Why should there even be one in the first place? Where is your freedom of speech? Okay? When should it actually kick in? Right? Should it kick in before anything happens, Minority Report? Right? Or should it be after something happens? You do not know. Right? Of course, you can evolve the AI, predictive, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work, obviously. Right? And finally, how to label truth? I was thinking if I should use this example or not. Right? So when I say I support the Palestine, right? Am I supporting Hamas? Right? Truths are very difficult to label. In fact, knowledge and information is difficult to label. I can support human life, but how I present my sense can be interpreted differently. Right? So the labeling is a difficult task. Okay? And just as a bonus, right? We are going to see the same discussion about AI, policing AI, safety AI, blah, 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 right? Google, OpenAI, blah, blah, blah. You will see the same discussion. And I will say you will get the same answer. There is no one right way. So is it a lost cause? Right? Or is all gloom, right? Actually, no. In the Google Cluster Media Summit last year, if I participated, right, someone from Cambridge actually said, don't try to debunk. You pre-bind it instead, right? So they done a few research, they actually obtained a lot of numbers. Usually, once something becomes rival, no matter what you do, it's too late. You are too slow, and the worst thing is you cannot even reach the audience. Malaysia has a website called Sebenarnya. Have any of you heard of it? Sebenarnya? Right, most of you don't. It's a fact-checking website in Malaysia, but no one knows it. The same problem as what we have here. Right, you cannot reach the audience which you want. Right, and ironically, right, the internet already have a solution, wisdom of the crowd. Right, Reddit. Right, there's already a community that fact-check. Wikipedia, right? Until now, they have been perfect. So, if you listen to both of these podcasts, right, you actually realize the solution is readily available. Up to the point, right, when you look for information online, when you Google, right, do you put in the word Reddit at the back? Right? I'm quite sure most of us young ones do. Up to the point that Reddit is now going to ban Google bots from collecting it. Your ChatGPT, your llamas, right, all of your large language model, they're all trained on Reddit. So if something so stupid as AI can learn about the truth, why not use it? Right? So what else? Right? As much as I really dislike ads, formerly known as clicker, it is a meme. Every news article you will see this ads bracket, formerly known as clicker. As much as I dislike it, as much as how lame it has been, they are actually moving in the right direction. One of the best things is community notes. Right? You actually realize it's not the responsibility of the government or of the companies, platform owners to moderate. Right? Because it comes back to the 5 questions. They should actually provide the tools for people to moderate themselves, to be more aware, or in other words, to be more woke. Right? So it is what it is, and it's currently going very, very nicely. Right? As you can see here, you can see the same for Trump, Biden, both sides. Right? So now it becomes a very fun game of me trying to prove whatever you're saying is disinformation or misinformation. Right? And all of these resources should be available. Right? I will just fast forward a little bit. Right? I just pull out the same thing. The 3 slides I presented earlier, I did not put any citation. So should you trust what I've actually mentioned? Right? And this is how easy it is to trust someone. Right? With fancy graphics, right? Fancy graphics, big names, you will believe me. Right? I cycle off with sources. Right? They are all sources. When I come to what I want to manipulate you, you will just believe me. Right? And I'm very sure most of you believe me. Right? Same concept. So, in other words, right, social media usage will continue to grow because crypto is a scam. Right? So the web will be stopping at Web 2.0. Right? You can go such as Web 3. Right? Stop thinking about fake news. Right? It's more complex. Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. Right? Different form requires different intervention. You cannot just have a blanket. It doesn't work. Companies have tried for years. Right? It doesn't work. Okay? So aggregation is the most important thing. Right? You need to have the mindset to always scale. Debunk is better than trying to debunk. Right? It's very, very important. Right? And last and final one, it's not up to the platform to moderate. Right? They will not moderate because it's part of their revenue stream. Right? And they won't intervene because that is part of their unique selling point. Right? TikTok is very, very popular because they personalize what you want very, very well. They will never ever change it. It's their unique selling point. It's their trade secret. So on the other end, provide tools to make everything much easier. Right? I won't go to sebenarnya. Right? It exists for years, but none of you are aware of it. Right? It needs to be baked into the platform by itself. Right? Quicker communicating notes. Okay, ads, communicating notes. Something funny. Right? Please follow my ads. It sounds very wrong. Right? So ask me why. But the platforms should have functions to help you verify misinformation, malinformation much easier. Okay? So pretty much that's all from my side. Pretty fast on time. Does anyone have any questions? Oops. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one of your solutions is the wisdom of the crowd, right? How can we scale that up so that it really is much more mass than what we have currently? I mean, Reddit is, of course, a good platform, but how else?
Okay, so it actually depends on the platform, right? In the past, if you look at Quicker, right, before it became ads, has something where you are able to like, you're able to reshare, right? And that is one of the ways for you to estimate how good information is. Right? When more people share, it becomes better. When more people like, it becomes better. If your account is verified, it becomes more trustable. Right? So, in the end, it comes down to quantity. Yes, it can be manipulated for sure. Right? But the entire goal is not to prevent manipulation. It's to make the cost of manipulation so expensive, it's not worth the effort. Right? And that is why you see a lot of the tech companies are trying. Right? They are not trying to prevent it. They actually realize you can't prevent it. It's an arms race. Right? So the only way you can do it is to make it so difficult and so expensive if you want to manipulate it. So on Reddit, there's mechanism like rope fuzzing. Right? You will see very old forums now where they actually count not only the number of posts of individual, but the number of likes they receive, the amount of karma they receive. And if they are reported a lot, the number of times reported will be visible as well. Right? So just provide as much information as possible to the user, they make the judgment by themselves. Because in the end, we cannot label it. Right? It's too subjective. For you to scale it across the entire internet, unfortunately, it's not possible. You can't. The internet is way too large, and the moment you try to restrict something, another one will pop up. You can't fight it. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yep, we have time for about one more question. Anyone from the crowd? No questions? All right, in that case, thank you very much, Dr. Ian.